I had a couple of weapons I wanted to talk about. I'm kind of excited about them, so let's get into it. I have about 5 weapons. I'm just gonna talk about like their base uses and like what I think they're good for and how fun they are. I don't think any of these weapons are particularly insane. Some of them are just good, and some of them I just like. So we're gonna yap about them. So first one first, we're gonna talk about the Quanta vandal. The reason why I got into this weapon is because I rolled a riven that is nearly god roll without any rolls. But without the riven, this is like just replacing the riven here with like serration. This weapon ends up being just like a status monster. So if we're just gonna shoot it at some enemies, it like is a double beam and then just like applies a ton of status and like just does a lot of damage. I might be on the wrong status. Yeah. So basically it's like a weapon that just does a ton of status, and like usually you go like blast electricity because it does like some funny explosion things with it, and primary crux just goes off with it. But it's surprisingly powerful once it's like built up and going, because you just get tons and tons and tons of blast procs and electricity procs. Like you're seeing I'm applying like 100 in just a few seconds. My riven kind of just makes it crazy. So it goes from like a honestly kind of okay weapon from what I was testing to like actually insane. Where it just like the extra multi-shot and like enemies nearby are dying to the blast before the main target is dying, which is really funny. But once it's like built up, it just kind of shreds. I used this to kill the Archon 2 weeks ago, and then I used it to kill a level 4 Lich 2 days ago. So it's like really fun. It's like a status-based primary weapon, and like it has this alt fire that's like kind of interesting, that like when you're built up on Crux, you can kind of just like spam, and it just does funny things. It's like fine, but the main fire is really the fun part that I like. Okay, let's talk about one that's actually not actually that good. So we're gonna fight slightly less tanky enemies. It's just unique enough that I'm kind of excited about it. This is the aegrit. The aegrit I kind of picked up because it was like somebody suggested it, and I was like, this weapon sucks. And I'm kind of right. It's really interesting, and like this is a mirage weapon. So if I just throw this at these guys and then I like explode it over their heads, it's like a massive explosion. Like it does a lot of damage. But it's like it suffers from the fact that it has 6 shots, and like if I don't ult fire to like explode them, it just kind of doesn't do anything. You want to like really make sure that you're like exploding it over their heads, and like giving it some buffs with like Ember here will make it like actually kill these enemies, and it's kind of neat. It's a little bit unwieldy, but I wanted to test it a little bit. But the reason why I say it's a Mirage weapon is because Mirage does this thing with just like kind of any weapon, where she kind of just gives it enough damage to kill. But we're just going to use the clones here just because it does this. And like it just multiplies the amount of projectiles you have, and like that's like really good with this weapon. And then obviously you have like Eclipse. I do want to mention, Mirage makes every weapon overpowered. I took the Stug to level cap with her, so like I hate suggesting to like play weapons on specific frames, but I will suggest to play fun weapons that are bad on frames that can make them work. So like the aegrit is like kind of interesting to me, so here we are. Now I wanted to talk about the dual vicis. So I'm gonna go to Excalibur here, just because I want to make sure I don't have any buffs or anything. But I wanted to talk about the dual vicis, and the reason being, the dual vicis is really interesting. I think people know about this weapon, so it's like not that crazy to talk about and know that it's kind of like really strong. But its unique trait gives it movement speed and attack speed when you trigger gas effects. It has innate gas. So if I like buy a config here, it starts with like a huge gas weighting. 17.4% of its status weighting is gas. There's very few weapons in this game, aside from like using it on specific frames, that can do blast and gas. Blast melee influence is like really good. I mean, melee influence is good. It just kind of makes it do more. And then on top of that, this weapon is just faster at attacking. And so when enemies don't die to just the blast, they die to the gas as well. and like, I don't know, it leaves like a lingering cloud. It's like really interesting. Like this weapon I took to level cap with Veruna. I mean, obviously Veruna can kind of just do that, but I think it's just a fun weapon. I like the extra movement speed it gives when it triggers gas. Like you can see this buff right here. It's like really interesting, I guess. I don't know how to explain why I feel this way about it, but it's like 40% move speed and like 35% attack speed. So it's like half of Berserker Fury and like more movement speed than like most weapons in the game. It's like quality of life is really good. So when you're actually using a melee weapon, this is the fastest one for your movement speed. I really enjoy this weapon. I think it's really cool. And the last one we're going to talk about is the Goulsaw. Now, somebody in my community asked me if this was a good weapon, and I immediately said no, because it's not a good weapon. I realized I had never actually tested it, so I did. And like, yeah, I was right. It's not really a good weapon. Like, I have a ribbon here, and like, replace the ribbon with like quickening. It's like, that's basically what it is. You can do either afflictions or influence on this weapon, and like, it works. However, there's some like really cool things going on with this weapon. So like, the base stance is like weird. Like, you can like run forwards with this weapon and like heavy attack, and it'll like chainsaw, and like when you finish enemies you like chainsaw them on the ground. And then they've got the block combos, and the first one is like this like spin that does like a ton of forced slash procs. But the one attack that we're gonna focus on today is the forward block attack. I don't know about anybody else, but that's the coolest fucking move in the entire game. I don't have any other words. I was like, okay, how do we make that work? Now, the slam at the end of that attack has a forced knock up. If I like use the regular stance and just like use the forward attack, the slam will like knock down enemies nearby, and like it has like a guaranteed slash proc in it. It's like weird, but it does trigger afflictions. So if you do want to use afflictions and not like anything else, like this works. And like these enemies will get actually like some statuses and stuff. It's like kind of neat. However, again, influence kind of just goes off way harder on this weapon. Similar to what I was saying before, like I don't like suggesting frames on good weapons, because like obviously if you put Mirage on and the Burstin together, the Burstin's gonna kill shit like a surprise. But on a weapon that sucks, if you put it on a frame that like makes it do good, I think it's actually really a lot more interesting. So like this is it with influence, by the way. It's like fine, it works. It's influence things. I've been playing this on Veruna. This weapon specifically I think is really interesting. So I've assumed Warcry because this weapon fucking loves attack speed. The cool thing about Veruna is like she now has 100% increased crit chance and status chance. So like she makes this weapon like actually trigger status effects and like actually use melee influence. Cool things that this weapon like wishes it could do, and like it ends up being genuinely like a really fun fast weapon to like move around the map and like kill enemies with. It's my Veruna weapon now, and like I won't take it off of Veruna. I think it's too fun. The other thing with this weapon is there's actually a couple cool interactions. You can cancel the slide. You can cancel the like ride attack. If you do this and like use her one, you can actually like cancel the final animation. And what's really cool about that is it maintains momentum. So if you go to this simulacrum, like, and then I trigger Warcry and like get the attack speed going. Let's say I want to be over there. I can like do that and like cancel the slide and then just aim glide, and I go really, really far. And like it's not like it's better than most movement options in the game. It's like kind of unique, and I think it's like really cool. Anyways, that's it. I don't have any more to yap about.